And a good Wednesday evening to everybody. Welcome to LSRTV for those that are watching. Welcome to CRN Sports for those that are listening. And wherever you are, checking out the iRacing Simulator, we welcome you to coverage. This is the Northwest iRacing Truck Series and round number 5 of the road course throwdown for the Northwest Trucks at the Daytona International Speedway, the world center of racing virtually. And this is the road course throwdown on your home for sim racing. Hey, good evening to you. I am Wesley Outland in Clayton, North Carolina. I'm joined alongside from California, from one side of the state of the US of A to the other state, from the East Coast to the West Coast. My buddy Samuel Dyer is joining me in the broadcast. Greg Rentz had some other endeavors and obligations to commit to tonight, so therefore he's not available. And Charles Wooten, right smack dab deep in the heart of Texas in Wichita Falls, is in the LSRTV production truck. We welcome you to coverage from Daytona. And guess what? It's not a daytime race like the Cup was on Monday. Samuel, we're truck racing, brother, and it's under the lights on the road course at Daytona.
We get to see the sparks, those brake rotors glowing. It's going to be a fun night. I mean, I watched the Cup race on Monday a little bit, got to see drivers smoking their tires, locking it up, and expecting the same thing to happen here tonight.
It'll be a fun time. Let's take a look on your Race on Texas race analysis for tonight. Bottom left of the monitor. And, of course, it's always presented by Race on Texas. Everything going on, motorsports, dirt, pavement in the Arklatex area. Get on board with the Speed Pass at raceontexas.com. 1 hour practice. It is done. Drivers' meeting is ongoing. When they hit the track again, they will be qualifying 2 laps on the course, and the best lap will lock in the lineup for the race here tonight. And it will be a 42-lap race on the 16-turn speedway / road course that is the Daytona International Speedway road course. Samuel, this is the same course with a couple of modifications. That is the same that the Rolex Sports Car Series, or IMSA, uses every year in February, or actually in January, before Speed Weeks at the Rolex 24 of Daytona.
Yeah, it's the same course. A little bit of a difference is what we like to call that NASCAR chicane, turn 13 and 14. That's where things really change up, and you saw it on Monday. Drivers really locking up their tires and sliding through 13 and 14 and expecting the same thing, but that is going to be a place where drivers can win or lose their race tonight.
We'll definitely keep an eye on that. All that good stuff is going on again. As we reiterated on, we're glad you're along for the ride as the drivers' meeting is taking place. Hey, we're under the lights. It is nighttime. But first, also, let's take a look at the sawblade.com weather conditions. It is clear skies, storming a lot all over the US of A, but on virtual iRacing tonight, it is clear. It is 69 degrees, good number for the temperature, 70 degrees for track temp, wind speed blowing a little bit from 7 miles an hour, partly cloudy sky, so it is clear. One thing, though, Samuel, as a driver yourself, 7 mile per hour wind speed is obviously better than 15 to 20, but you're going to notice it definitely affecting the cars as they hit the back straightaway for sure with the cars on the tail end of the wind.
Yeah, I mean, especially it's going to be pushing your car, going a little bit faster than what you were used to. And, you know, you think of driving day-to-day life. I mean, you feel a little bit of a breeze while you're driving 60 miles per hour. It feels like it could shift you slightly. And then when you're going over 150, that little bit of a nudge can really cost you and make you be shoved off the course. As drivers are now on track. It's qualifying time, Wesley.
Hey, they're not wasting any time, my friend. It's time to get qualifying on board here for the drivers of the Northwest iRacing Truck Series. As again, Vegas is coming up. Dirt racing at Bristol all along the way on LSRTV, CRN Sports. And we will start it off with Tyler King, the racetrack king of the number 21. Of course, Pills, Mandarin Oranges, number 21 machine. We'll see what he can do. He'll set the bar as he works around the racetrack. He comes off of the main infield course. Now he's onto the big part of the racetrack, Samuel, in turn 1 and 2 of the Super Speedway.
Yeah, on the road course, this would be considered corner number 7 and 8, as these drivers are now rocketing through what would be oval 2 and now sending themselves into the bus stop, corners 9 and 10. And this is one of the fastest corners that you can really be taking for these drivers. If you hit it right, you just speed on by. You hit it wrong, you are going to be dirt tracking it a little bit. But the 21, clean as it could be, coming out and now heading towards turn number 3, what would be oval 3.
Wondering, we're not having time and scoring pop up on our monitor right now. Hopefully that'll be adjusted here in a few moments, but we'll do our level best to keep up times for you. You can see it on the bottom of the monitor, as right now we keep track of Tyler King working his way in that Pills Oranges entry. He'll work around up through the net, through that bus stop, if you will, the chicane, the turtles around on the back straightaway, the Daytona super stretch, and then you actually, my apologies. That was the NASCAR chicane. My bad. He was on the front straightaway. So there you go. 10 minutes and 44 seconds, obviously. That does not count. Anyhow, Charles, send that to me on Messenger on Facebook, please. Not on TeamSpeak. I have to have it on my phone in real time. But anyhow, we're trying to keep track of everything, trying to get our time and score it up and going as well. And we're going to keep an eye on Tyler King. And obviously, you know, Samuel, we just saw like a 10-minute, 44-second lap, and that was just his warm-up lap. He is for real now on the course to qualify.
Yeah, now it's go time. You had that one warm-up lap time to try to set yourself up, get the tires warmed up a little bit, you know, a little bit of a sense of how your car's going to be running during qualifying, and now you get to send it for 2 laps. And, you know, this first lap, you might feel a little bit more comfortable, but that second lap, there's going to be a lot more heat built up into these tires, and I think that's when we're going to be seeing those really fast lap times as in that second attempt. But for a lot of these drivers, I think the goal, stay on the racing surface, and we're going to be saying that a lot here tonight.
We are. We're going to keep track now of this official lap time of Tyler King as he is on course. Again, we're going to keep up with this. Qualifying is ongoing for this race in the Northwest iRacing Truck Series, the showdown throwdown, the truck throwdown here at Daytona. We're going to watch Tyler King. He's up in the high banks of turns number 3 and 4 on the big part of the speedway. That's actually turns number 13 and 14 on the road course here. And now he'll make that turn into turn 15, exiting turn 16 right there, and back on off the NASCAR chicane to the start-finish line. You'll start to see times pop up on the board, and Tyler King crossed the stripe under 2 minutes. 1:58.394 seconds. Dennis Moore going to the top board in 44, 1:57.432. The orange 44. Odenbacher, a former Daytona truck winner here, is now second best, 1:57.987. And O'Hare, King, those are your top 5 right now in qualifying.
Yeah, Paul Newton in the 81 truck going to be besting on top of the board, and Newton's one of those drivers that I have my eye on to have a good race here tonight. But as I say that, the 54 takes that top spot.
The number 81, Paul Newton. And by the way, Samuel, I don't know how much you kept up with the other day or whatnot, but Paul Newton finished in the number 2 spot in the Northwest iRacing Cup event on Monday night. He finished second behind Lake Peterson, who is the first repeat winner of the season in truck number 81 now. We're seeing what he can do. There's the defending Truck Series champion of Dan West Jr. We'll see what goes on for that driver, the man out of Washington. A little loose there for just a moment. He saves the truck, keeps on going, keeps on the course.
Yeah, I mean, Dan West Jr., certainly this is the most different track that everyone's going to be dealing with, road course racing, first road course of the season. And Dan West Jr., the only 2-time winner in the Truck Series, winner of, at the Daytona, and then also winning at Richmond a couple of weeks back.
Chris White, CWR Racing entry, the Interstate Amsoil number 83. We'll see where he goes now on the racetrack. The 83, Chris White, qualifying ongoing. They have a certain time limit to put down a good lap in qualifying, and then the field is set, it is posted, it is listed, and we are ready to go. So let's set the stage here for you now as we watch them work their way around the course here at Daytona. Round number 5 of the Northwest iRacing Truck Series. Look at him hit his marks. Perfect precision, avoiding the cones, using the rumble strips to his advantage. Samuel Dyer, this is a good lap for Chris White off the back straightaway so far.
Yeah, the bus stop is where you want to really hit those rumble strips. They're going to be helping you really accelerate and get the momentum going towards corner number 11. And then once you're coming off the corner, coming here to NASCAR chicane, you've got to be careful. The rumble strips are not your friend here. The turtles will actually launch your car and give you some damage. So you got to make sure that you stay on course and you don't hit those rumble strips in that part of the section. But everywhere else, it's pretty safe to hit those rumble strips.
Yeah, you got to make sure you do your best for sure and not make any of those mistakes. Hit your marks, be there at the right time as well, and that's exactly what these drivers are doing as, again, laps continue in qualifying. There's Cole Raz, Razzle Dazzle, one of the drivers in the orange and white that are one of the 7 in the 2021 Alan Kowicki Driver Development Program that I had the privilege to call myself to unveil him being one of those drivers. Of course, on the bull ring on Speed51.tv a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I bet. And you see him proudly sporting the number 7 Alan Kowicki Driver Development sticker on the decal, as well as orange and white on that truck number 10, Samuel. I think that's something he's proud of.
Yeah, proud of it, and he wants to really show off to that team of how well he's going to be doing, hoping to have one of the best runs out here through 13 and 14. Gets out of shape, though. That's going to be costing him a lot of time.
No.
And just like that, from what was looking like possibly a top 5 run in qualifying, he's probably going to be starting the back half of the field.
Yeah, something was definitely looking good, and he's in the wall again, and he tears his truck all to pieces right as soon as he crosses the start-finish line, and that is not a good lap for him. Man, that's disappointing. I feel bad for our buddy there, Cole Raz, but hey, it is still early. He's one of those talents where literally do not count him out. That cliche, that lineage of one top customer, reality or virtual, do not count out that number 10. Here comes Kevin Smith. Samuel, he's coming off of a pretty successful race himself last Monday night as well, or this past Monday night.
Yeah, and he was hoping to carry on that momentum, but you saw on screen right when we swapped to him, he overshot corners 3 and 4 in NASCAR chicane, and that's what cost them a chance for that lap time to count. And now he's going to be parking it and starting in the back half of the field. And here's the 23 machine, and he was doing pretty well on Monday night.
Yes, we'll definitely watch that and see what's going on. As there's Toby Ritters, the Budweiser colors of back whenever it was the Junior Johnson Hendrick days, and the King of Beers Budweiser number 23, Toby Ritters, will finish up with his lap. Right now, Robert Gamble, I'm so impressed with Robert Gamble, Samuel, at the top of the board, 156.166. Newton is up there in second, Paul Newton. And then you got Jeff Stabnow redeeming himself. He had obviously personal reality back problems, hurting over Monday, struggled in the cup race. Sam, I think he's got what the doctor ordered, or he's got a proper medication, because it is working for him right now. He is third on the board in qualifying.
Yeah, a great way to start off tonight's qualifying, getting third on the board. And, for Jeff, it's got to be just stay consistent, run well. And that has to be also said for the man that's going to be in fourth place. For Breitzman, he's going to be someone that's got to be hoping to have a better run. Saw in those first, 15 laps of the cup race, he got out of sorts. So it's easy to get yourself in tricky situations early on. But the drivers certainly are going to be having a little bit of help, as there's going to be another competition caution tonight, just like there was on Monday night.
So somewhere between 12 to 15 laps is when that yellow flag will be thrown is what it will be. Somewhere between 12 to 15 laps. There will be a mandatory caution flag. And to be honest with you, they said on lap 12, they threw a caution on lap 12. And we saw a lot of strategy and scenarios literally take place because of this, Samuel, where drivers where we thought could have done one stop or three stops could do it on two pit stops. And we saw the success of Lake Peterson take advantage of these pit stops that made it work. And by the way, qualifying is now official. Robert Gamble is on the pole.
Yeah, Gamble's going to be loving this. I mean, he's got to be loving being up front. We saw Lake Peterson. He did such a great job. He got the pole, and when he took off, no one really could touch that machine on Monday night. So, you know, you got to be thinking for Gamble. It is time to be up front, pull away, and don't look back, and hope they have another great restart when the competition caution comes out.
The field is gritty. It is time for the ComServe Wireless starting lineup presented by ComServe Wireless with 24 locations to serve you in Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania for your Verizon Wireless and Verizon Fios needs. ComServeWireless.com for more information. On the pole, Robert Gamble in 54. He's going to lead with a green flag here on the road course. To the outside, Paul Newton, second on Monday in the Cup race. He's second in this race on the front row. Jeff Stabnow got to turn things around after bad luck Monday in the Cup ride. He's in the 24 starting third. And Sean Brightsman, the defending Cup Series champion, to the outside in the 46 from Tucson, Arizona. Row number 3 will find Dan West Jr., defending Truck Series champion and a two-time winner, by the way, at Atlanta and Richmond. To his outside, Dennis Moore in truck number 44. High hopes for him tonight. To the outside, bad luck in the Cup race Monday. Caden Anderson looks for redemption to the outside, the 41 of Stephen O'Hare. Rowing in your top 10 in row 5, it's going to be John Ottenbacher, a former Daytona Super Speedway winner. To his outside, Devin West. Good to see him back in the number 5. Row number 6, Tyler King of the 21 Peels entry. To his outside, it's the Catman, 333 James Vining. Row number 7 will find Stephen Paulison, the Daytona Cup winner back a month or so ago. To the outside, Judd Wakefield in the 50 machine. Row number 8 will find Cole Raz, the Alan Kowicki driver development driver, the number 10. To the outside, Chris White in the Chris White Racing 83. Row number 9 will find Toby Ritters of the Budweiser, number 23 King of Ears entry. To his outside, looking cross-eyed on the camera, it is Aaron Cooper in 71. The top 20, Carl Burke in the 53 machine, the legend, the veteran. To the outside, one of the dash winners of the duel earlier in the year, Ray Fournier in 26. Moving on to row number 11, Ryan Blum in the number 25. To the outside, Kevin Smith in 00. That's row number 11. Row number 12 to 24 starters. It is Scott Hutchinson in the number 91. To the outside, Corey Walters, another winner here earlier in Daytona, in the 9 car. In the back, Frank Harris in the number 11. 16 turns. The speedway at Daytona will be used up. The road course at Daytona will be used up. And in a moment, that pace car will drop onto the pit lane, and the drivers of the Northwest iRacing Truck Series will get down to business. Samuel, your final thoughts before the start.
Yeah, I think if anything, I said it during qualifying, I'm going to say it again, stay on the track. That is what most of these drivers' goal is don't be going off course. Make sure you are on track, and if you're on track, that means that you've got a shot to be passing some drivers in front of you.
Ready for these drivers to go at it here. 22. To be exact, actually 23 starters. You count Frank Harris in the back. 23 virtual charter members of the Fraternal Order of Go Fast in their kaleidoscope of colors, ready to glisten by as they move into the corner through the NASCAR chicane. The pace car drops onto pit lane. Hope you enjoy the kick in the asphalt. Camera angles presided by Outlaw Motorsports. Green is in the air. We are kicking the asphalt road course style at Daytona. through the NASCAR chicane. Here they come, ladies and gentlemen. You have a virtual race at speed. The trucks roaring at Daytona. And right now, Sam Dyer, Robert Gamble on the whole shot leading the way.
Yeah, Gamble's been doing a great job. In that one lap, he was able to pull away by 1 second, and it has just been great to see. A lot of our front runners have been running clean. The one driver that's been having some struggles qualified up in the top 5, but that's going to be Reisman, who's all the way back in 12th place after missing a couple of corners, has put the 46 truck all the way back.
Watch them as they work their way around. He lost a couple of spots there. Actually, lost more than a couple, probably a 6-pack in the process as he falls back all the way to 7th position. Problems for Brightsman's machine all the way back, maybe more. Make it a 12-pack. 6-pack wasn't enough. Gamble leads the way. Newton in second. Stab now third. West and Moore, they work their way to the inside of the racetrack, down onto the big part of the speedway. They are about to enter onto turn number 1 of the big speedway as they come off the corner.
They are just taking off right now, and man,
watch this. By the way, instant replays presented by Pulse Poppers Fishing Lures. Keep your eye on the 9 of Walters. There he goes. Wow. Wowzers. In the words of Inspector Gadget, everybody on the binders, no harm, no foul, we stay green. And believe it or not, Sam, only a competition caution, so there will at least be one visit by the Banana Republic flag in this race tonight.
Yeah, at least one. If we see a huge calamity coming out of the first corner once we restart, then most likely we'll see another one. But everyone's staying clean so far as they continue to roar around this course. It's such a massive course, over 2 minutes each lap. So yes, it says that it's only going to be 42 laps, but it is going to be a long 42 laps for these drivers.
Underway. We'll keep an eye on these guys and see what they will do on the racetrack, as right now Robert Gamble is leading the way. Look at Sean Brightsman trying to pick up where he left off from falling all the way back to 12th. He has now ran down the top 10. Get around Raz, get around Devin West. That's the 10 and the 5. Devin West about locked it up going into the part of the race course again. He'll save it. Razzle dazzle by Raz, and he goes around, trying to clear around Devin West. Couldn't get there in time. Quick binders by Tyler King. Everyone else to quickly make an evasive move, and Cole Raz will fall all the way back to the top 15, Sam.
Raz just got a little bit too antsy getting onto the throttle there, and it spun this 10 around, and all the drivers were told that they could choose whatever gearing system they want to help themselves find grip. So if you wanted a lower gear ratio to really help yourself off exits so you're not spinning it out, or a lower one where you really want to risk it, Raz a little bit too aggressive.
Great save in the chat box on LSRTV. If you're watching in Ultra 4K HD quality, who you riding with, who you picking. Got a truck spinning, smoking down below the racetrack. Great piece of driving by Brightsman and Odenbacher to get up on the top shelf of the speedway to avoid Caden Anderson in 37. No harm, no foul, no damage it looks like. He'll continue along. And looking at a replay now, again presented by Pulse Poppers Fishing Lures. Yes, Pulse Poppers Fishing Lures is real. It's not popcorn. It's a way to get your fish popping in the ocean. Throw out that fishing lure presented by Pulse Poppers. We're glad to have them as a sponsor of the replays on LSRTV and CRN Sports coverage of all broadcasting events. Going around 37, 360. Did a little 360 and kept on going, Samuel Dyer.
Yeah, it was very similar to the way that Raz got out of control there. Just a little bit too antsy on the throttle, and, getting these trucks spun around. It's so easy once you just feel comfortable to take off, as here comes that 46 once again, as O'Hare just stuck on the high side and letting this pass happen.
Ready to rock and roll as there goes Brightsman. He's right now moved up to the number 6 position. They work their way back around the racetrack. Behind him, Stephen O'Hare. Everyone just waiting patiently. Look at them work their way through the S's into the infield. There it goes now through the NASCAR chicane. Back onto the part of the race course. Through the front straightaway, back onto the infield course where the IMSA Rolex 24 Daytona takes place. That's Toby Ritters, the Budweiser number 23. You're on board with him. To the outside. Looking on driver left, the Dynaco. The Dynaco colors entry, the Dynaco oil, Sinclair oil number 58. That is Stephen Paulison, the Daytona Cup winner. And, you know, honestly, Samuel, you were a part of that. That was a wild ride back during Daytona.
Yeah, it was certainly a wild one. Daytona and super speedway racing, you just never know who's going to show up when the timing is there, and it was Paulus that was able to show up that night.
Working their way, watching, see what Ritters can do up the banks of the 1 and 2. Lap 4 of 42. So already 36 laps to go, or 38 laps to go. Robert Gamble. We might have missed Paulus in the Daytona Cup winner crashing, and here is the Sinclair oil replay on the 58. Watch this. Great work on our production crew. Contact with Kevin Smith, who had a stellar run in the Cup race on Monday night, and Sam Dyer had a little contact on the driver right of Paulison. Little damage, but he keeps on going in truck 58.
Yeah, Paulison, that makes sense why he was being passed so easily by the 23. And now that we're back to the live, that was about a lap ago when that incident happened, and Paulison's really going to now have to work on this, and that whenever that competition caution comes out, luckily all these drivers have a fast repair still sitting in pit road, so the race isn't completely over for that 58 machine.
That's right. It's not completely done so far. Watching Robert Gamble work his way. Paul Newton in that number 2 spot, who was the bridesmaid in the Northwest iRacing Cup event on Monday night, won by Lake Peterson, who, by the way, in 6 races, finally a repeat winner. He won Atlanta, and then he won, of course, the race at Daytona Beach Road Course on Monday night. Now, we already had a repeat winner on the series, as we have another Pulse Poppers fishing lure instant replay. Problems on Corey Walters. Second time he's given us a highlight reel here. And look at the great save by Frank Harris in 11.
Yeah, Harris starting all the way back at the back of the line. Slowly's been chipping his way, but man, had to make some evasive maneuvers to get around that 9 truck.
Good, quick, evasive moves, no problems for that driver there. Robert Gamble hitting his marks in that truck number 54. Newton in the number 2 spot. Truck, yeah. Fun, yeah. And here is road course racing at Daytona. Round number 5 of the Northwest iRacing Truck Series. Samuel Dyer in for Greg Rensheim. Wesley Outland, the voice of the Northwest Racing Series. Charles Wooten doing an awesome job. The rest of our crew in the LSRTV CRN Sports production truck getting the replays, getting the highlights of all the craziness that's going on here. Just a couple of laps into this event here in a handful about to be completed. Working now lap 6. Robert Gamble leads the way, and we got a problem. Judd Wakefield into the infield grass on the super speedway down below turns 1 and 2. He'll keep going in truck number 50. A little shower of sparks as he was sandbagging virtually from the infield grass onto the banking, but Samuel, he's okay.
Yeah, I felt a lot of pressure from Cole Raz, and that's what sent the 50 just getting a little bit, going through the bus stop. It looks like he hit the rumble strips a little wrong, and there he went.
Whoa. Oh no, Jeff Stab now. I'm understanding a problem for Jeff, and he did not need this. Sam, look out. Problems for 24 off the course. Oh, a little razzle-dazzle. At least he kept it on the asphalt. He got a little bit in the grass. I think he's not flat-spotted the tires virtually, and he kept it on the pavement. You found some return road to give a saving grace for him. So, Sam, that's some good luck right there for him. Yes.
Yeah, he got a little bit too zealous there in the International Horseshoe of turn 3 and just went a little bit too excited, but certainly has gotten back up to speed, but he's got to be worrying because behind him is a very hungry driver as the Cup champ. He is coming with a lot of speed.
And I think we got another one going around. Frank Harris now with problems in the number 11 machine. We'll have to keep an eye on this.
Same spot.
Wow. And I don't think this is the first time either that it's happened. We'll keep an eye on it again.
International Horseshoe coming into turn 3 as well as turn 5, where that's the west side of the horseshoes. Both those corners are very similar, where you got to get hard on the brakes, slow down to second gear, some drivers down to first, to really get out of the corner quickly. And when you're shifting down, it can get your back end squirrely and spin you out like that.
All right, so here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to introduce to you what is the Daytona International Speedway Beach Road Course, in case you don't know. Let's catch up with somebody that is coming to start-finish line, and we'll give you a lap. High above, and it'll be presented by the fine folks at All American Pools for our blimp aerial coverage. We're setting it up now. You see our production crew trying to find a truck that is near the start-finish line, somebody that we're going to go riding with. And when that happens, we will give you a full description of what type of a race course they're going. Let's follow Judd Wakefield in the 50 truck. By the way, coverage is presented by All American Pools. There he goes into turn number 1, which is the IMSA road course part of the racetrack. He reports into what is now called as the in and out. A sharp move into turn 2 becomes the S's, like a little slithering snake. Moving through turn 2, now into 3 is the International Horseshoe, a name that Samuel Dyer has already mentioned a couple of times as myself. He'll have a now opportunity to go to the infield straightaway. The straightaway will then become a sharp left-hander, which will then become known as the West through the bootleg. That's the bootleg they just went through. Right now is the West Horseshoe. This is the west end of the race of the horseshoe. Then they're going to work their way up into what will now be turns 5 and 6. Turn 6 will become the out of the part of the court of in and out, onto the big part of turn 1 of the NASCAR Super Speedway. Once they hit that part of the racetrack, they will then work their way into the second part of NASCAR Turn 2, which will actually be for the road course in this event, Turn 8. Down the back straightaway, the Daytona Super Stretch, where they could probably get the fastest speed of all, 170 miles an hour virtually. Then they'll work their way into what is called as the bus stop. The bus stop, very sharp in an angle turn, moving your way through that bus stop chicane, if you will. That is now turns number 9 and 10. The NASCAR chicane was recently done in the configuration of this track for this year. It used to not be there. Turn number 11 and 12 is NASCAR turn 3 and 4. And then 13 and 14 will now become the NASCAR chicane. Back around to start finish. And there you go. High above, presented by All American Pools on CRN Sports, listening and watching on LSRTV. Mr. Dyer, that's a lap around the Daytona International Speedway road course.
Yeah, and it's crazy. They just rip it around here, and here's a replay of some more accidents going on. Great battling right here.
Oh, look out. Chris White, same spot, lost it. Look out. And quick, oh, wow, what a save there by Carl Burke in 53. And while we were, Judd Wakefield with problems on his truck 50. I don't know how we even caught that. Didn't even catch it whenever we were. Oh, it was right after we ended it. Oh, man. He wanted to be in the spotlight, and then he spun out. He said, I'm not done being in the spotlight. Put me back on camera.
He was clutch when the cameras were on him, but needed more screen time, so a little bit of an incident.
That's right. Lap number 8 of 42. Robert Gamble is leading the way. And what a performance for the man in truck number 54. I don't think he has ever won on the Northwest Racing Series. Could it happen tonight for the driver in the number 54, or as my producer Charles always says, thanks, Wesley, you just jinxed him. I think I did, yeah. Judd Wakefield with problems again.
Yeah, he's just got to stay on course. I mean, he showed us how to get it done for one lap. It's what's crazy about these road courses, it's a lot about rhythm, kind of like what short track racing is you get into a rhythm of your braking zones, where you want to hit, and if you get off sequence at any moment, it turns into a terrible day, just like we've been seeing Wakefield have for this past lap and a half.
Yeah, somebody just messaged me actually, and they said that when did they do the NASCAR chicane? This is something new. Well, actually, the NASCAR chicane, Sam, was implemented this past year. If you remember, during the Daytona pandemic with COVID. Basically, what happened was Daytona ran the big speedway, but they also ran the road course. At the time when they built the Daytona Speedway road course like you're seeing tonight, they did not have the NASCAR chicane off of turn number 4 entering into the tri-oval. And the reason why was it was full speed. And if you remember that, Samuel, back on Labor Day or around Labor Day, it was around the middle of August or so, there was crashes because they were coming off at such high speeds in turn number 3 and 4 off of NASCAR turn 4. Well, this is not a super speedway event. This is a speedway road course event. So in doing so, Sam, the powers that be said, okay, when you come back in February after Daytona this year for the 500, which, by the way, was won by Michael McDowell, and then, of course, William Byron Christopher Bell actually won the road course event. Right there, you're seeing it now. They implemented the NASCAR chicane off of turn 3 and 4.
Yeah, and it's given NASCAR in real life a lot of amazing moments. I mean, you got to think of the duels. I mean, you got to think of, the All-Star type of event that was going on before the season started. Like, it gives you such great moments of amazing racing to see as we're on board with the 58 now. Chugging along, he's certainly still damaged after the incident earlier and hoping for this competition caution to come out soon. And that range is about to come in the next 2 laps. Remember, from 12 to lap 18, between those 2 laps, it is going to be a lot of chances of when that competition caution is going to be coming out. And now we're also watching this great racing action going on for the 7th place, where you've got Moore, Onbacher, as well as West just staying on top of one another and catching up to O'Hare.
Hey, I want to send a shout out to my lovely girlfriend Amanda back home in North Carolina. She's actually listening to some of the race and said everything sounds good. She knew that I was kind of a little on the fence of how the internet would be, but good night, honey. I love you. I know she's actually listening to the race and everything sounds good, so she just commented, so thank you. And we thank everybody for watching as well. Everybody that is tuned in on LSRTV on YouTube in Ultra 4K HD, also on Facebook, and for those that are listening on the Community Radio Network. Hey, by the way, we've got iRacing tonight with the Northwest iRacing Truck Series. Tomorrow, softball, doubleheader, 5 p.m. Eastern JV, 7 p.m. Eastern Varsity, Clayton Comets, South Johnston Trojans, and then Friday night football, the first round of the North Carolina State Spring Football Playoffs. All of that coming up, but we are glad you're enjoying our esports coverage from LSRTV from the Northwest iRacing Truck Series. Samuel Dyer, Wesley Outland, Charles Wooten doing a great job on getting so many exciting replays. And as we approach about 10 laps in now, or over 10 laps, we are awaiting any moment the competition caution, which fell on lap 13 of the Cup race on Monday, Sam Dyer. And we are still seeing sheer domination by Robert Gamble, but there's the man in second, Newton, ready to pounce like a coiled cobra on his prey right in front of him. If something happens, we're looking at Gamble, picking him up and putting him down. What a performance, but Newton is there.
Yeah, Gamble just needs to keep doing what he's doing. And right now, the last couple of laps, it's been Paul Newton that has been the fastest one. This 81 truck, you talked about it, finished second in the Cup race. Same course, different, in the Cup cars. Now in the trucks here tonight, Newton hoping that he does not become the second place once again. But, he's starting to find his rhythm now. And for a lot of these drivers, they're seeing the heat and the wear and tear on their tires already as this battling that's going on in front. As you see on screen, this is battling for 15th place.
Working their way, as I mentioned, the Coiled Cobra through the S's. That is the International Horseshoe. Now through the West Horseshoe, through the Bootleg. Working their way back around that part of the racetrack at speed. Now from the West Horseshoe into turn number 6.
Troubles for our leader.
In
Troubles for our leader.
Oh, no. The leader in trouble. Robert Gamble with a problem, and now Newton will take the lead.
It's going to be through the bus stop.
Robert Gamble. Sam, what happened?
You're going to see it here on the replay, just coming in a little bit too hot through the bus stop, and feeling a little bit too comfortable and confident sometimes, but here on the exit, hits the rumble strip and just nicks the grass, and it pulls the truck into the infield and loses first place just in an instant.
But that was also a good piece of driving virtually by Robert Gamble, because he could have lost control. He could have went zigging and slamming into the wall, tearing up the tires. Obviously, flat spotting might be an issue. The only saving grace is the caution is going to come out here in any moment. And also, he's in second place, so he really didn't lose that much. But did he, though? He's now 10 seconds back to the leader, Newton, and we have pit stops even before the caution as Tyler King in the 21 truck is on pit lane.
Yeah, Onbacher as well as King coming in, and this is a strategy to come in, get tires, get fuel, and be set up just in case the caution does come out. You can then give yourself a net gain by staying in front of everyone else once the caution comes out.
Yeah, well, exactly. I'm exactly right. Our producers isn't talking to us, and if we only knew when the pit stops would be. So, and when will the caution come out? So that's what I'm wondering. When will the caution come out? Because these are green flag unassisted, or not unassisted, unannounced cautions right now. These are unscheduled pit stops. So, our producer knows. He's not telling us, though. Oh, Chris White, problems on the track, problems on pit road. He overshot his pit stall.
Yeah, these tires are being so worn down that when you come into pit road, that difference of asphalt to concrete can really slip these drivers up.
Cole Raz again. Wow. Going around in the horseshoe and going around. Saved by that inside horseshoe. And we also had this happen right here for this driver. And about the same spot, and Corey Walters has been on the highlight reel a couple of times already. Yep. And while we were under replay, this just happened on track. Awesome work by our camera crew and the production truck. Low jumps the bus stop, or just chicane into the wall. Devin West, he hit the rumble strips, or the turtles, if you will, and hard into the wall. A lot of damage. He's got to be happy there's going to be a competition caution any moment.
Yeah, our Homestead winner not wanting to have that type of wreck happen. Also, our leader, it's going to be Paul Newton, who's coming out of pit road after having service, after watching all those replays, and a lot more others following suit. We got Caden Anderson, as well as Kevin Smith, Raz following suit, and O'Hare already finishing their pit stops.
Underway, more pit stops. Cole Raz, obviously with problems early in the number 10 machine. He will continue along. We will continue along. There goes Kevin Smith off the pit lane. 4 tires, Sunoco fuel virtually, and a little wedge done on that truck as well, as it was trying to free it up. The man had a pretty good finish in the top 5, I believe it was, in the Cup race on Monday night. With this event on the road course on Monday, the Cup cars, the trucks on Wednesday, and of course, remember the ARCA series, the Northwest iRacing ARCA series is on Friday night. Normally, with my crazy broadcasting schedule, Charles, with our production crew, has video obligations with Race on Texas during the weekend as well at Monarch Speedway. Greg has Waxahachie Speedway and all these other things going on. Sometimes we can't commit to Friday, but I'm understanding there's going to be a Friday night race broadcasted from Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and they are going to broadcast that event this Friday night. Unfortunately, I have other broadcast obligations. Of course, the North Carolina Football State Playoffs Round 1 on Community Radio Network on Friday night, but there will be somebody here. Sam Dyer, you might be the guy on the call with Greg or Charles or It's the ARCA Northwest Series, but I've heard they've been putting some good races on.
Yeah, it's exciting to see who's going to be on the call for that one, but it's going to be great racing overall, just like what we see for the Cup and the Truck Series. ARCA, certainly we're expecting to see great action there at Las Vegas.
Certainly are. Lap number 14 of 42. And still no caution flag. No visit by the Banana Republic flag just yet. Now, on Monday night, the caution came out exactly on lap number 12. I believe they said somewhere between 12 to 18 laps in that figure will be the visit of the caution flag. We do not know. Our producer knows. I'm going to strangle him virtually if he doesn't tell me. But we do not know when that caution will come out, when the lights will be illuminated virtually around the Daytona International Speedway. So right now they continue to race on. Some drivers have already took on pit stops. And Sam, do you think they might have needed to unschedule pit stop because they had used up their trucks in the first 12 laps of the race?
I mean, it's a little bit of a strategy call. Some pitting early because pit early, get those tires as soon as possible. There is a lot of wear that these drivers take on their tires. Running here just over 3 laps, you're already running about a second off what your best lap time is, sometimes 2 seconds off.
Problems again. That's O'Hare. Stephen O'Hare in 41, off course and back on track again.
O'Hare's had a couple of slip-ups, currently in 9th place, and was running around where Devin West is, but waiting to see when he'll make his charge. We're watching the battling currently for that 14th position on Bacher as well as Raz.
Working their way around the racetrack now. Bacher along with Raz coming off the corner. We'll keep an eye on it. Shout out to my buddy Tyler Hilton. He's checking out the racing. Hope you're enjoying it, my friend. Thanks for watching. As they work their way into the bus stop. Little contact. Ritters and Raz get together. Contact off course. They save it.
Yeah,
wow.
Ritter's got a little bit of damage on the front and left and a little bit on the front right. That scrape is certainly not what he wants to see, but Raz, as well as Bacher, they've got fresh tires, and that's why you saw them attack the bus stop so much more aggressively than what Ritter was doing. They just have the grip to make those types of moves.
And here's the thing. Talk about strategy. We do not know, somewhere within the next 4 laps, the caution flag will come out. We know it's between lap 12 to 18. 15 are about to be complete. Somewhere within that sequence, the yellow flag will come out. We do not know. But we will say this, however, Samuel, trucks that have already pitted, they might have an opportunity to take advantage of the lead or even the win for track position because they don't have to pit.
I mean, they're going to probably come in for fuel, but, trying to gain as much as they can now with this pit stop. And, if the drivers have to pit, then if they have to stretch it all the way to lap 18, these drivers that are still out here, they're going to have to pit at some point. But more drivers in the pit, Burke following suit. And also with this competition caution, step now off course at the bus stop.
Off course again, man. Wow. And still with all those problems, though, Samuel, he'll still stay in the top 5. Good run for him so far.
Getting a little bit of help for himself. But the statement I was going to talk about was the fact that there are drivers 1 lap down. So the lucky dog position is something else that some of these drivers are trying to aim for, as it looks like Wakefield going to be the first car 1 lap down, hoping that no one else goes a lap down in front of him.
Robert Gamble in the 54 truck. Now, he had a problem, we mentioned, and problems for Sean Breitzman. Now, second place goes around. Sean Breitzman, the second place truck, who was only 2 seconds back to Gamble with a problem. And now the rest of the pack has to check up on the binders. Dan West Jr. has reeled in behind Breitzman. Driver right to the P2 position. Goes 55 of Dan West Jr.
Yeah, Breitzman's just been struggling all night long. He was lucky that he was in second place for as long as he was, but he has gone off course multiple times in the first 3 laps, and then he just saw there spinning around Horseshoe, International Horseshoe, and that has been where we've seen the most of all of our drivers spin around, it seems like, once they get into the infield of this course. Got to be careful on how you're going to be attacking either on the brakes or getting back on the accelerator.
All All the while, we still await the caution flag on lap number 16 now. 15 complete. Robert Gamble working his way on the super speedway backstretch now through the NASCAR, or through the bus stop, if you will, the bus stop chicane. Down
struggles for
on...
Stabnow. Stabnow into the tires,
oh, no.
Coming back onto the oval surface. Got to turn number 6.
Problems there. Problems for Stabnow continues up into turns number 11 and 12 of NASCAR. Turn 3 and 4. And there's the caution. The caution has been thrown. The lights are illuminated yellow around the racetrack. They'll come to the scoring loop. We will have 15 completed on lap number 16. And the caution will wave for Robert Gamble. You see him now on his 16th lap, taking the yellow flag. They'll catch the toe of the sedan pace car, and the strategy will begin. I believe, even though we saw unscheduled pit stops earlier, scheduled possibly, I really believe everybody's going to come down to pit road, Sam Dyer.
Yeah, I was expecting a lot of them, and there's one driver that came into pit road and is going to be just came into pit road when the caution waved, still on the lead lap. That's going to be the 53 of Burke. Great job for the 53 machine to get the pit stop done right when caution flag waved.
And Burke did that, and so did the 9 of Corey Walters. They come down to the pit lane before the caution was thrown. They're taking advantage of these pit stops, so that's good work there by Carl Burke in 53, as well as Corey Walters. All right, they got a long way to go behind the pace car. We will take a quick break. When we come back, pit stops, and we rock and roll here at the Daytona Beach International Speedway Road Course. LSRTV, CRN Sports, your top 5 from Daytona. This is the Northwest iRacing Truck Series. 16 laps in, Robert Gamble and the Cavalry coming to the pit road when we return.
We're based out of West Monroe, Louisiana. We do custom T-shirts, racing. We'll do any shirt. We'll do schools, churches, fundraisers. We do a ton of event shirts, as you can see on our board here, all around our banner. Personalized. I mean, we'll do anything. It doesn't matter to us. We got the custom rugs. We use all the, top quality shirts, inks and everything. Hoodies, hats. We do embroidered hats, embroidered shirts. Just you can call us for anything. We do offer the bag and fold, to where we, you can receive them and they're already labeled and tagged and bagged, ready to give out to your customers and stuff. So you just call us and just tell us, hey, this is what we're looking at doing, and if we're going to put the car on there, it is 125 quantity minimum. If it's without the car, it's 60 quantity minimum. That's strictly on the racing stuff. If it's a business or something, if you race on Texas shirts, it's a little bit differently. You can call us. It just depends on your quantity and ink colors. Everything is hand drawn. I mean, everything. We don't Photoshop anything onto a shirt or anything like that. Everything that we go through, everything is drawn, and which is the reason for the art fees. We do have several graphic artists that draw for us, and they're really good. So what we do is on any package that you do, we can mix and match. We can do any colors. You can do purple, red, blue, green, and do the rest black. It doesn't matter to us. With your design on there, we can do hoodies. We can do hoodies, long sleeve shirts, t-shirts, tank tops. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's almost limitless what you can do, and you can put all that together in that package to make that minimum requirements. They can call us 318-278-7191, or they can email us at bulletprooftees@yahoo.com, or they can go to the website bulletprooftees.com.
Pit stops about to get underway. Welcome back to coverage of the Northwest iRacing Truck Series and the Truck Showdown Throwdown on your home for sim racing. I'm Wesley Outland. We have Sam Dyer, and we have pit stops, and here we go, Sam.
Yeah, a lot of drivers coming through, and Expecting to see, and this is going to be Dan West Jr. leading the charge of drivers coming up. Gamble, we got to remember, he did have a spin, put him into the grass, and there was slight damage. Decided to take that optional repairs, so going to be dropping down a position, but we did have a total of 5 drivers staying out and not pitting this time because they already pitted during the race.
So the advantage of pitting, taking advantage of pitting, might I add, and it's working, and they're getting it done. And you see Paul Newton, see some of these other trucks that are still on course after pits. Newton taking advantage of this. And, I always ask this question, Sam. Can you take advantage of the Cup race and the successful run you've had Monday night and use it to your advantage for the truck event? I think that, honestly, he is doing just that in 81.
Yeah, I mean, the drivers were talking about it, and really the times that were being placed by the Cups and the trucks were very similar to one another. So if you were feeling successful and you felt comfortable in the Cup car, you most likely translated that over here to the trucks, and we've been seeing that. I mean, Newton's been doing a great job for himself. He was up front, had the lead before he needed to come into pit road, and expecting to see the 81 car doing that too.
So we're going to try to grab a word with the driver of the number 46 machine and find out how things are going for the man originally out of Puyallup, Washington, now resides out of Tucson, Arizona, the defending, of course, Cup Series champion for Monday night. So the Northwest iRacing Cup Series, their next race is at Vegas. Sean Brightsman, I'll ride it on board with you, bud. You got a copy?
I gotcha.
Hey, man, things going good. Some thrills, some spills, some chills, some spins, but right now you're in a pretty good, comfortable spot in the top 10. How's 46 doing?
We're doing pretty good. We're just dialing in the setup here and just making sure it's going to do what we want over the long run. Kind of gave it a little bit of aggressiveness there towards the end, but so far so good. I'm happy where the Brights Boutique Tundra is in right now.
Got a good, strong run. Things looking really good. Racing the Cup car in the day compared to running the truck now at night. Comparisons and differentials. What do you think?
The sky's dark. That feels about the only comparison, to be honest. It's still a lack of grip. Spinning the rear tires, even in second gear, especially as the run wears on.
Tell us about your problems in the horseshoe. What happened there?
It was just a little loud in the radio communications, and I just lost lack of focus there, and gave her a little bit too much loud pedal, and it said, "No, you need to chill."
No harm, no foul. So it definitely not Jeff Stabnow to blame, right?
He had plenty to do with that, though. So I mean.
All right, buddy. Well, listen, you're in a good spot in the number 8 position. Go get them, because we know this race is not it will now go to the checkered flag. So no more caution. Settle in, my friend. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Bess.
That's Sean Brightsman from Tucson, Arizona. That number 46 machine will keep on going. And Sam Dyer, the defending Cup Series champion, ready to get back at it to the whip and ready for Jeff Stabnow to quit making him lose his concentration.
Brightsman, we saw him fall back all the way down to 10th. He moved back up to 2nd. He fell back to 8th. I'm expected to see this 46 do the same thing that he's been doing all race long. He might be falling back, but he certainly has the pace to be up there in the top 3. I do want to note that we do have Chris White as well as Hutchinson's. Both of them going to be taking waiver rounds and putting themselves back on the lead lap.
We certainly will. We'll keep an eye on that. We'll watch it as we watch them now work their way back around the horseshoe on the west end of the horseshoe. They'll come back through there onto the big part of the speedway, from the in and out onto the super speedway, and nestle in for the restart. The pace car will get ready to bring them back to green here. And again, you've got coming up on halfway. But in addition to that, you're literally... this is it. Settle in. Katie bar the door. This is the finish. Do you think we'll see any more green flag pit stops, or do you honestly think the cream of the crop is set, Samuel, and this is who we'll see run to the finish?
I expect us to have at least one more stop during this race, but for a lot of these drivers, I think for most of them up front, it's so that you stay clean and green. But for our front five, they did not pit during that pit stop, so expecting them to come in at least once, and the rest of the field, we'll see if they can stretch it a little bit further than everyone else.
We'll see what happens. The field will get ready to set up for the restart. Let's give you the rundown right now. Matter of fact, let's give you the full field rundown real quickly, Samuel and I. Paul Newton leads. Stefano Harris second. Tyler King is third. John Onnebacher is fourth. Kevin Smith is the top five. Dan West Jr. is sixth. Robert Gamble seventh. Sean Brightsman eighth. Dennis Moore ninth. And Devin West the top 10. Then you've got Jeff Stabnow and James Vining halfway through the field in the top 12.
You got Gaten Anderson, Cole Raz, both of them had issues early on. Then you got Ritter, Paulson, as well as Harris, Wakefield, Hutchinson's, White, and that's going to be all your drivers on the lead lap. And then you got Cooper and Blanc going to be trying to do their best to stay where they're at and maybe gain some positions from unlucky victims of those on the lead lap.
And, of course, also Carl Burke and Corey Walters, also a couple of laps down. Ray Fournier with problems behind the wall. They'll make their way back into NASCAR turns 3 and 4. And of course, it is racetrack course for this event, turns 11 and 12. Pace car will get ready to drop onto the pit lane. They will move their way through the NASCAR chicane as well in turns 13 and 14. Pace car back onto the pit lane. They're going to go back to the Geico restart zone. Here they come, ready just before halfway, back to green at Daytona. Newton on the jump, and he is gone in 81.
Waiting to see the rest of the drivers behind him scattering and trying to figure out where they want to place themselves. King's going to go completely off and losing about 2 positions himself. And, for a lot of these drivers, those are probably the cleanest you can make it through turns 1 and 2.
And here's something to think about as well. If you wanted to try to take any advantage to try to pick off trucks at a big margin, this would have been the time to do it on the restart. If you can't settle in, you're going to go back single file here very shortly. But right now, this is nip tuck hard racing. They are door to door, side by side. A lot of good racing through the International Horseshoe, through the bootleg, through the west end of the West Horseshoe. We got a car or truck with smoking. We got Judd Wakefield on the pit lane. We got Frank Harris in trouble in the bootleg in the number 11 now to the west end of the Horseshoe.
Speaking of West, that was Devin West that was off course on your screen there, and he got back on around 14th position, but losing about 5 positions himself.
So we saw problems for Devin West. That's the second time we've had issues for him. Also the 11 of Frank Harris. Once the smoke settled, the dust cleared, obviously there you see it. Good run now for Dennis Moore. Staying out of trouble. He's in the top 10 right now. We're outside the top 10 in 11th. And there goes all those trucks now in a tight gaggle, fighting through the Horseshoe. There's Gamble. Gamble trying to run down Onnebacher. Gamble trying to hold off Raz. Raz trying to hold off, of course, Anderson. And Gamble, as well as all of these trucks working their way now into turn number 3 and 4 of the NASCAR track here at Daytona.
Yeah, Gamble to get by Raz had to make a little bit of a contact through what would be oval turn 2, and got to be careful. Don't want to make any enemies here as they're now side by side once again through NASCAR chicane.
Working their way through that NASCAR chicane off of turn 4, making their way back to the Geico restart zone. Now it's single file. Here they come, nose to tail. Little crazy racing there a moment ago inside the in and out of the racetrack, and they're going to nestle themselves back into that again as they go back into the road course in 1.
Yeah, I mean, all the drivers that are in this little group of a line of that we're seeing here, Statnow's all the way in the back of this and being the caboose, just waiting for his chance to make a charge all the way up through this.
And Paul Newton still licking his chops, taking advantage of this. So we got a problem here for another truck, and we've got a replay presented by Polt's Poppers Fishing Lures. Problems for the 333. It's the Catman. Look out! Oh, kind of reminds me of Tom's Heartburn Turn 1. Sorry, Aunt Kathy, at the Roval at Charlotte, where you're coming in at full speed, nowhere to go. It reminded me of 2019 when Chase Elliott done the exact same thing, and then guess what? Redeemed himself and went on to win the race.
Vining might have to look for redemption next week because he is too far back at this moment. He's going to need a full course caution, and it's just not there, as I think Vining once again deciding to meet some more tires.
Oh, man, problems for Vining or Wakefield. Those trucks look so alike. And shout out to Big Bird. Big Bird's in the house. And I don't mean the one from Sesame Street. Big Bird, Eric Cheney of the Northwest, jumping on the broadcast coverage. And I'm sure he's going to text me any minute, stalking me while I'm working. As here comes Stephen O'Hare, back on course, back on turn 1 and 2 to the NASCAR part of the racetrack. There is Cole Raz. There is Caden Anderson. There is more. Those two guys are buddies. They're good friends from the Northwest. If they can hook up, they could be a force to dominate and fight with here for these other drivers, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, they are certainly ones to watch out for. So we're now going to be moving up and looking at leader of this line of cars. That's Kevin Smith as well as Onbacher, as he also got Gamble just waiting for his chance as Smith gets high and does not get the launch out of the corner that he needed.
Back off into one, in and out of the racetrack. Working their way to one. And there goes Paulison on pit road, the Cup Daytona winner. Sinclair Oil, number 58. And he had some problems earlier in this race. Could this be a scheduled pit stop to try to pull some kind of upset here? What do you think, Sam?
I think a scheduled pit stop for sure. And it looks like he already used his fast repair. A little bit of contact, possibly for the 58, but he's seen on screen.
Oh, no. Problems for Vining again, the Cat Man. Okay, Cats have 9 laps before they officially die. That's about 3 for him so far.
Vining has gone into the pits as we're watching Ottenbacher making his moves.
And if you are listening to the sound effects, it is our producer talking about my son putting a cat in a ceiling fan one time. Oh. You are doing an outstanding job, Wesley. Now get an iPhone so you can be in our group chat like Cody is. There's even, oh my God, I'm not even going there. I am so glad that I stopped reading aloud what Eric Cheney just sent me. How dare you, Big Bird? I am working. It did.
Oh, man.
That's all I'm going to say. You know what? I'm always fine until he shows up, but then I just fall off the deep end, okay? I fall off the wagon.
It's getting later and later. It's getting later and later out here as we're watching both racing that's going on. We got the
By the way, under 20 to go. Under 20 to go.
Stab now. Able to save it.
Whoa! Good job. Silver Bullet. I can't call him Skeleton anymore. Or Possum, Jeff Stabnow. Yeah. He's in the 4K Ford. Jeff Stabnow sporting the new paint wrap job on his truck. And he's also sporting the new 4K Ultra HD on the 4K Ford 24 of Jeff Stabnow. Yeah, from Billings, Montana.
But I gotta love it.
Done though. That's why you pay me the big bucks, Charles. Well, that's why you pay me the big job, Jeff Stabnow. Rocket Media. No, hey, listen. If people do not know, Jeff Stabnow purchased from 52 Media LLC not too long ago, a couple of months ago, what was the business that is live sim racing. So yes, and of course he is sporting 4K. Battle for second heating up. Stephen O'Hare, Sean Breitzman. And, hey, the last time we spoke to Sean Breitzman, Samuel, he was all the way back in the top 10. He has rallied and came all the way back to second, fighting for second now around O'Hare. Breitzman in third. That goes on. It's the game of cat and mouse up in the corner.
Yeah, right now, Breitzman and Dan West Jr., freshest tires up front. And they've got about 5 lap fresher tires than the other 3 around them. So both the 46 and the 55 should be able to make these passes pretty cleanly, but it's going to take a lot if they want to catch up to Paul Newton, who's just taken off. He's 6.8 seconds away from this battle that's going on for second.
And while that goes on, man, Paul Newton is just pulling away from everybody. Open up that interval to now almost 7 seconds, as my colleague just reiterated on as he goes to the in and out of the racetrack through the S's into the International Horseshoe. And while that goes on there, Stephen O'Hare, they're going through the S's now. That's for second, third, and fourth, right there within a cat's whisker of each other. Through the International Horseshoe, moving their way on that part of the speedway. Now to the west end of the IMSA road course. And sideways, dirt tracking it was Dan West Jr. as they go into the bootleg. He'll save it as they go to the straightaway now to the west end of the horseshoe and back onto the big part of the racetrack through the in and out. Good hard racing for the bridesmaid spot. One wrong slip and someone will capitalize or somebody is going to go around as it is getting intense back up on the NASCAR turn 1 this time by.
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching O'Hare. He's doing a great job trying to keep up with Bridesman, but I am concerned for Dan West Jr. He is certainly drifting around these corners, which is just putting more wear and tear on these tires. That he's got the fresher tires of the drivers that he's around, but the way he's driving, it's making me concerned that he's putting way too much heat into it and wearing them way faster than everyone else.
19 laps to go. Down the straightaway. Newton, Breitzman 1 and 2, O'Hare 3rd, West, Gamble, top 5.
Cole, Raz, Anderson battling for 7th place. Anderson got the better launch out of the bus stop and easily going to be taking the pass. Raz has been beaten and banged around. He at one point was up at 6th place, but he's been passed by both Gamble and also by Anderson, and now back in 8th place. Anderson right now, looking at the lap times, he is one of the fastest cars on track for this 37 machine. Expecting to see him to do well, but O'Hare, after trying to stay out, been out there for 12 laps on these tires and fuel, decided to come into pits now.
That's right, that's right. O'Hare and King, teammates on pit road, 41 and 21. There you see them.
Part of Beaver State Racing, trying to get their service done. Both of them went with the same strategy of staying out on that when the competition caution came out, so it gave them track position, and now hoping that this will take them to the end of the race.
All right, so we're seeing pit stops going on. We got a crash here. Pulse Poppers, Fishing Lure, instant replay. Caden Anderson, problems of the 37 through the horseshoe. And look at this, going around in the International Horseshoe and saved by the pavement. It's kind of like a virtual non-caution burnout.
Yeah, I mean, feeling a little comfortable. Don't want to do your burnouts now. I mean, you haven't won the race yet. But man, isn't that the spot? Everyone has just been struggling on that corner, either on entry or on exit. That horseshoe has just been treacherous for everybody.
And because of that little hiccup there, Jeff Stabnow has got back around Anderson. He's in 9th now, climbing the top 10, going after more. Trying to go after more spots and after more, and he's sideways. Look out, Dennis Moore. Excuse me, coming through from Ricky Bobby, as well as Jeff Stabnow saying that on the radio to 44.
And Moore's going to lose another position because after he thought he got it saved, got loose again. Now Caden Anderson back up to 9th, but Moore still in the top 10 at least. But man, it's just been rough off these transitions.
Keep an eye on a driver that's in the top 15. Look at my buddy right there, up 10 spots in this race. Starting shotgun on the field, Sam Dyer. It's our veteran in the Ford 11 of Frank Harris. He's up to 15th.
Man, started all the way back, didn't put a time down, started in last, up to 15th. Great job for himself, just staying clean. Do have, believe we'll see on this replay here, is the 58 having some issues.
Paulison, Daytona Cup winner, and going around to the Sinclair 4. Oh, whoa, what a save there. The Sinclair Oil, number 58, a little half spin, keeps on going, and rolls on in the 58 truck. Yeah.
I'm concerned for Cole Raz. He moved up to 6th place, and about a lap ago, he said hello to the Turtles at NASCAR Chicane. It launched his car up. We don't have, oh boy.
Caden Anderson around again.
That's the second time he's had issues, and he hit the turtles about a lap ago, and then that.
I'm sorry, that's Cole Raz. It was Caden Anderson. This time it's Cole Raz in the 10 that just went around. Oh, holy cow.
Yeah, Cole Raz has just not had the best lap and a half. He's gone up in the air at the turtles, and then that spin on the west side of the horseshoe. Just, oh man, rough day there for the 10. He's being pushed around earlier after the competition caution. As now we're looking at some other drivers that are trying to make some moves forward.
So, Samuel, what's your thoughts of the Daytona road course so far? What we're seeing down the stretch with the under 20 to go?
I'm just concerned for these drivers that are that are in the middle of the field. Seems like a lot of them, their biggest struggle is just staying on track. As, oh boy, the 5. Got to be careful hitting some of those bumps.
Oh, look out, Annenbacher and West.
West got a great launch there through the chicane, and he's got to be able to make this pass coming into 1.
And remember, Samuel, these are teammates for Team LSRTV.
Bucker just giving it plenty of space for each other and cleanly through the corner.
Newton, Brightsman, there's Gamble, there's the battle for third. Oh no, right in the front of the field. Problems for the 4K Ford and now Ultra 4K HD for the replay presented by Pulse Poppers Fishing Lures. And yeah, it looked like he took the bait there and went around.
Yeah, we watched West and Annenbacher have a great entry, and then he was watching them instead of hitting the brake.
Oh my goodness. And while we were watching Stab now, look at this between Raz and Anderson. Just a simple little slip there. Keep an eye on Cole Raz. He's already got junk in his trunk all dented up. And, oh, he went to a spin. He quickly, evasively got on the binders to miss Stab now. Wow. You know what? Let's go on board with him. That would be pretty cool to go on board and see that on a replay. But this also happened. We're going to get that replay in a moment of the great driving by Cole Raz to miss Stab now spinning. But then Judd Wakefield goes around in the 50 truck. In the Vape Hub entry. I thought that was something else on the side of that truck. I'm glad it wasn't. By the way, here we go. Watch this on board. Cole Raz. This was just a moment ago. Right now, listen. Pooh, out of nowhere, Samuel, he came and popped up on him.
Luckily, the smoke popped up. If the smoke wasn't there, he was going to go straight into Stab now. And luckily, there was some visual help as now the battling that's going on for 9th. This is going to be Raz and Smith and O'Hare. They're all on top of one another.
Annenbacher's on pit road, I believe, in the 89 truck. Here he comes. Could this be the money stop with 15 to go? Raz is on pit road. Kevin Smith is on pit road. And this just happened to Annenbacher a moment ago as well in the NASCAR chicane. Wow. No harm, no foul. Yeah, just decided to be a Joey Chitwood stuntman there for a second. And we got trucks on the pit lane, money stop. Cole Raz has got a new, fresh, what do you call it, fast repair. He's back.
Yeah, tons of damage for the 10. He had been scraped on his left side. It's gone for a couple of spills into the grass. It hit the turtles, and now a fresh truck. We'll see what the 10 can do now, and if he can really make a charge back into the top 10.
15 laps to go. A quick break, and we will take you to the finish. Let's take a look to the upper left in the Saw Blade top 5 checkered flag. Here from Daytona, the Northwest iRacing Truck Series, watching LSRTV, listening CRN Sports, as Frank Harris gets a little razzle-dazzle again in the middle of the pack.
ETE Reman is the world's best remanufacturer of transmissions for import and domestic cars and trucks. Based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, our customers are repair shops, auto parts stores, dealerships, and distributors. And with 6 nationwide warehouses, we're where and when you need us. So when you're looking for a transmission that is like new, only better, instill confidence and install ETE Reman.
We told you it would be a fast commercial. This is it, down to the finish. We're 28 of 42 laps. And there is Frank Harris. You saw him have a little spin, a little razzle-dazzle. He saves it, keeps on going. And there is more pit stops going on. Dan West Jr., Truck Series champion, defending champion on pit road, Sam.
Yeah, coming in when he was in 4th place and trying to make their final stops for themselves. Also an early exit for Scott Hutchinson's, the 91 truck, deciding to park it early here today.
Money stop. Hutchinson is out. And there goes Dennis Moore battling again with Caden Anderson. Both of those trucks have had problems as well. The road course, Daytona, round number 6 of the Northwest iRacing Truck Series. I am Wesley Outland, Sam Dyer alongside. Awesome work in the production truck by our crew, led by lead producer Charles Wooten. And this is down to the home stretch. With 14 to go, there's Dennis Moore, the 44 truck, right now in a nice spot in the top 5, staying out of trouble, ready to pounce, is also Caden Anderson. Some slips, some bumps and falls along the way on course here at Daytona, but they are all after that man right there, Paul Newton, who started on the outside of the front row, alongside Robert Gamble, who's now 3rd. Sean Brightsman has moved his way back into the number 2 spot on that last, after the competition caution, back up into the 2nd spot. Robert Gamble, the pole truck, 3rd. Devin West, Anderson, and here comes the leader on pit road. This is the money stop.
Yeah, Paul Newton could only go out there for so long. He was losing about 2 seconds each lap the last couple of times, and you could only do so much. He was one of the last drivers that stayed out during the competition caution, and so he had to come in at some point, and now leaves us with about 5 drivers that need to come to pit road at some point for their money stop. That's going to be Bridesman, Gamble.
Devin West is in.
Devin West was one of those drivers. Caden Anderson, Moore, as well as Stabnow and Harris. Those are your final drivers that have to pit.
Caden Anderson is in as Paul Newton exits off pit lane. Here comes the 37 onto the pit lane, along with Devin West that Sam just reiterated on. And while that goes on, they're going to fall back into the top 10 on the scoring pylon. And now Sean Brightsman is the man out in front. Strategy working up 3 spots for the man to the number 46, the defending Northwest iRacing Cup Series champion. And he gave him a fit to try to win the truck title from Dan West Jr., originally from Puyallup, Washington, now from Tucson, Arizona, the home of the Cactuses in the sweaty summers of heat, the winters in the desert, and right now he sits in that number 1 spot. Sean Brightsman, we know the strategy card he plays, and this could be one of those again, Sam Dyer.
Yeah, I mean, I got to say, Bridesman's been doing a great job. I mean, you got to think of the first half of this race, he went off course about 4 or 5 different times, had to make his way through traffic a couple of times, and now he finds himself up front coming to the end of this race.
Frank Harris is on the pit lane now, giving up a top 15 run. We are 13 laps to go, ready to bring this one to the finish. Sean Brightsman, there he is to the NASCAR chicane, working his way back through the Geico restart zone to the start-finish line. We're riding on board with the leader. There he is in that truck number 46. What a run he has got going for him. The last time we spoke with him was during the caution, as he has now 12 laps to go. He literally said, I've got a truck to get back to the front. I've got to use some strategy. Could this be one of those things that he's doing right now? But is he going to have to pit again? But we also know he is very conservative in stretching fuel and tires, as Dennis Moore now comes down to the pit lane for the money stop. But again, as I said, Sam Dyer, he knows how to stretch things, use the track to his advantage if he doesn't make any mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest issue right now for Bridesman has to be the fact that he's going to be about 3 to 4 laps short if he tries to stay out there, even if he's in save mode. So, Bridesman has to come in at some point, but currently he is one of the fastest cars on track. And really, the driver he's worrying about the most has to be Newton. And Newton right now hasn't put down a lap time and hasn't caught up as much as I think Bridesman is thinking. If he comes in within probably about 15 seconds to where Bridesman's at, that's probably what he'll be thinking about coming in pit lane.
And here comes the 4K Ford of Jeff Stabnow. He's onto the pit lane now, taking on tires and fuel for the money stop in that LSRTV Silver Bullet entry out of Millings, Montana. And Sean Brightsman dirt tracking it there just a little bit. He got sideways. He'll save it. He'll stay to the lead. But he's also opening up that interval between him and Robert Gamble. And we're also, is that blinking on the 46? Watching him work his way around the racetrack. Here he comes. Will he pit this time by? He's got 12. Now make it 11 laps to go. This time around the NASCAR chicane as he works his way, dirt tracking it off turn number 14. Back on the tri-oval here at Daytona. And he will not pit yet. 11 laps to go at Daytona at the line.
Bridesman and Gamble are on the same strategy, and it's going to be Gamble pitting first out of those two. Now all that's left is whenever we'll see Bridesman coming into the pits, and that will cycle everyone through.
Will this hurt Sean Brightsman? Should he have pitted when Robert Gamble did? Does Robert Gamble have an advantage? He'll give up a 7-second, 8-second interval back to the leader, Sean Brightsman. And now 24 seconds back is Paul Newton, who will now go to second or can... There he goes. Now Newton will go to the number 2 spot. But the interval again, 24 seconds back to the leader of Sean Brightsman. He could probably possibly pit and still be running these guys down for the lead, maybe. 1:56.43 seconds for the driver of Paul Newton. The fastest truck on the track the last lap there, Sam.
Yeah, Newton is throwing down at extreme pace and speed. He's running about 2 to almost 3 seconds faster than what Bridesman's been doing, and you've been seeing really the difference in how much he's been gaining each and every lap. A lot of these gains have been through both of the horseshoes and also through the bus stop, where he's able to really carry a lot more speed with the extra grip that the 81 has with the fresher tires.
That second spot, that's Paul Newton. He's up on the racetrack into turn number 1 and 2 on the super speedway. Meanwhile, almost 23 seconds back up in turn number 3 and 4 of the super speedway, getting ready to come back around to the NASCAR chicane is the driver of Sean Brightsman as he exits off turn number 4. He will work his way down now into the NASCAR chicane. Back to the start-finish line, dirt tracking it again. No signs of coming to pit road. 10 to go here at the Daytona Road Course for the leader in 46 as he comes to the start-finish line. And we have a replay. Problems for Tyler King and the Pills Oranges number 21. Watch this. Going around.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Turn 6 having issues. And oh my goodness, Devin West almost getting collected into that as well for King.
Right there. Right there on the in and out. Problems for Tyler King, and the same can be said also for Caden Anderson, doing the same exact thing in unison and took out a cone to boot.
Monkey see, monkey do. That's what we've been seeing all night.
Brightsman, look out. Look out.
Whoa.
Problems for the leader. Sean Brightsman dirt tracking it going around. Stephen O'Hare, I'm understanding, did the exact same thing as well in truck 41. Look at these awesome replays in real time that our production crew are catching. And look at this. Going around. Brightsman and then O'Hare into the bus stop chicane on the back straightaway.
Oh, you don't want to drive over the turtles like that. That is destroying your suspension, and that is a lot of time to repair those types of damages. Oh, O'Hare, that's going to be hurting him a lot.
And when will Brightsman come down to pit lane? He has now 10 laps to go, 9 to go when he makes his way back to the start-finish line. He is now on the back straightaway on the bus stop chicane on the back, working his way, a little razzle-dazzle while that goes on. Up the racetrack, the 83, Chris White now being passed by Paul Newton. Faster and faster and faster. He is reeling in Sean Brightsman like he's on a Pulse Popper fishing lure bait on a hook. Newton there, looking quicker, almost 17 seconds. He was about 24 seconds back to Brightsman a moment ago.
Yeah, that spill certainly is not helping Bridesman. He was hoping for that lead, and here he comes.
Here he comes to the pit lane. Will Paul Newton get him? I believe he will.
Easily he's going to get him.
I think Brightsman is going to come out around probably 4th or 5th, my prediction guess, when they finally run him down. He is at pit stall number 3, getting ready to take on the money stop. 4 tires and fill up the tank. The Toyota 46. No tires. Fuel only. Fuel only for Brightsman. Wow, what a strategy.
That is one of the gutsiest calls that you certainly could see. Sean Brightsman, this is not the winning play, but it certainly could be a podium play. As Brightsman, right now, he is ahead of Gamble, but Gamble has the fresher tires.
And trying to get around Chris White as well.
Gamble only went with fuel only as well.
Wow. Oh, holy smokes. But Paul Newton has got 4 new, fresh, good ones. As long as he doesn't make any mistakes, this could be the opportunity. The money stop, the gambles, the scenarios in real-time racing, virtual racing as well. Sean Brightsman, old tires, stop. He took on a fuel and go. Brightsman leads by almost 5 seconds. Can Sean Brightsman run down Paul Newton with under 10 laps to go? Actually, 8 to go at the line.
Driver I'm watching now, it's got to be now Dan West Jr. It's 9.4 seconds back, but he is making a lot of mistakes. He's got the fresher tires and could try to run down Gamble and maybe even run down Brightsman, but these major mistakes that the 55 is making, it's costing him time to possibly get up to 3rd or even 2nd place.
You know, we just saw a couple of moments ago on Dan West Jr.'s truck, the defending Truck Series champion, Atlanta-Richmond winner, the cherry red brake rotors, virtually glowing red. You know, we say that a lot in short track racing, like Richmond, like Martinsville, like Bristol. But that is happening here on the road course. And honestly, that is a given, not just because you're going left and right, but you're also riding the brakes too.
Yeah, I mean, you're flying. You're going from about 170 miles per hour down to about 90, and almost an instant trying to hit the bus stop. And then you're also flying into NASCAR chicane, going about 170 as well, trying to slow down to about 50 miles per hour. It is a lot that these brakes are trying to handle, but so far they're holding up.
And while that goes on, Cole Raz battling with Jeff Stabnow for that spot. This is inside the top 15 for 11th and 12th. They flip-flop on the scoring pylon with now 8 laps to go. Working through the NASCAR chicane bus stop on the back straightaway off the super stretch. Now they go back to NASCAR turn number 3, which is actually turn 11 and 12 here on the road course. Meanwhile, we pick back up the leader. Paul Newton is still out in front, picking him up, putting him down, and pulling away from Sean Brightsman ever slow. Not obviously right now, the interval 5.7 seconds, but Sean Brightsman now, he needs Newton to slip to take advantage of this.
Yeah, he's going to need a major slip up, and we've already seen this race of Gamble making mistakes, Brightsman making mistakes, and Cole Raz, another driver that you can add to mistakes being made. I was watching the battle between himself and Stabnow. He spun it around in the 10.
He was right there in the top 12, and here's the replay presented by Poltz Poppers Fishing Lures. Look at Stabnow. Nah, he never got into him. I thought he gave him a little chrome horn, but he didn't. Raz just lost it. And actually, to be honest with you, Sam, that's great work by Jeff Stabnow to quickly, as close as he was under the rear end of the 10, to get on the binders and miss him.
Yeah, trusting those brakes. They might be glowing, they might be about to break down, but trusting them even in this state. As now you're also watching this of O'Hare, and I believe that's West battling back and forth. That's for 5th place.
Normally Vegas or Michigan or Auto Club, we always talk about fuel strategy. Who can conserve? Who will go for fuel only and race to the finish? Not many times in a road course, but this has been a humdinger of a truck race virtually on iRacing for the Northwest Truck Series on LSRTV, CRN Sports. Here comes O'Hare, Devin West behind to the line. 6 laps to go when they cross the stripe. next time by 7 remaining, and it is still Paul Newton out in front, 6.733 seconds back to Sean Brightsman. He is opening up that interval, pulling away from Sean Brightsman as it looked like a little blinking nod issue for Dan West Jr., or actually Devin West in the 5 truck.
It's Devin and Dan West are both blinking at the same time, so there is some issues at that household at the moment, and that's got to be frustrating because both of them running in the top 10.
And I know about having internet issues myself. I'm glad you're enjoying the perfect broadcast on my end because we have new internet, faster internet, happily thankfully Spectrum, formerly known as Time Warner Cable. Thank you, Spectrum, for getting us the hell away from CenturyLink, and it is working good. 7 remaining. Newton leads. Gamble there. You see his truck in 3rd. He is about 11 seconds back, but Sam Dyer, he's got a good run going for him if he can hold on the pole truck in 54.
Yeah, I mean, doing a great job for himself, and Gamble thought maybe he would be putting himself in a place where he could probably win this race, just like we saw Lake Peterson back on Monday. But, you know, a top 3 isn't bad for himself. Also, Cole Raz went around about a lap ago, went a little bit rock climbing in the truck car over those turtles, and probably the worst way you could possibly go around them.
Yeah. There is definitely some net code issues going on board both trucks at the same time. You're watching the scoring telemetry, and our time and scoring up on the top of the booth is also blinking. You're seeing it blink on the broadcast monitor as those trucks are right there in unison. 55, Dan West Jr., Devin West in the 5, right in front of Stephen O'Hare. He has that going on in his mist. Ink and blinking nod ×2 to the line. 6 to go at Daytona.
Yeah, I mean, with that blinking, it certainly is going to be causing trouble for O'Hare, who's not sure if he should be aggressive or not. But the big thing for both Wests is the fact that they do have fresh tires. So since they've made the passes, they can really start to pull away from the rest of the field and not really have to worry about anyone else. But yeah, it's a little bit too early for blinking lights. We'll wait until Christmas comes around.
Coming down to an open hand from your flagman. The closest battle on the racetrack right there is between Stephen Paulison trying to run down Ritters in 23. That goes on the super stretch to the back straightaway. They're going to get on the binders here in a moment in about 3, 2, 1. In, they'll send it into the left to the bus stop. Chicane off the back straightaway. Ritters working through that perfectly. So is also Paulison. He has reeled him in as well, down to the inside of the racetrack. And again, one of the things we talked about as they work in the NASCAR 3 and 4, which is now turns 11 and 12. It used to be full speed ahead back to the start-finish line here through the Geico restart zone. But NASCAR and the iRacing said, nope, we're going to change it up. We're going to make that little NASCAR chicane right there. Call that turns 13 and 14. And then we get you back up to speed, back to start finish. To the line, 5 laps to go for the field at Daytona. They're back into turn number 1.
Yeah, you're seeing there of Kevin Smith able to make the pass easily on the 58 truck, and Kevin Smith has the fresh tires, able to make some moves. Ritter, though, goes around in front of them, and almost more calamity.
Problems. Look at this. We were showing you the leader at 5 to go, but this is what we were keeping an eye on a moment ago. Best battle on the racetrack. Kevin Smith was there. Ritters goes around. Paulison, great piece of driving. So did Judd Wakefield as well in the 50. And Toby Ritters did not need to see that happen to him.
No, Ritters was finally, I would say, running some consistent lap times, and then once the camera gets off, he wants more camera time by spinning it around, and luckily everyone else able to get away from him cleanly, but that was a very scary situation, and that's kind of now split everyone up from where they were at before.
Here they come around the corner, back around into the International Horseshoe, out of the West Horseshoe of the racetrack, through the bootleg now, through the bootleg, through the outer loop, back onto the big part of the speedway in turn 1. 5 laps to go. You're on board with the leader. It's Paul Newton. He has never won in Northwest competition. Another first-time winner we are looking to have here tonight in truck number 81. Runner-up in the Cup Series on Monday night behind Lake Peterson. And I'll tell you what there, 2 career wins in the same season for Lake Peterson. And now we are looking to have now 4 different winners in 6 races. And you can add to it also you can add another first-time winner in Paul Newton if he can hold on in truck number 81.
Yeah, and this is massive for Paul Newton. Coming into today's race, this was the last
Problems
race.
O'Hare.
Oh boy, O'Hare able to finally get back on course, and don't hit that outside wall. Don't want to do it. But for Newton, this is massive, and for a lot of drivers that are outside of the top 20 in points and are having good runs up front, because tonight's race was the last preliminary provision race for points based off of last season.
That's
now,
right.
If you're in the top 20, it's going to be all based off of this season's top 20 moving forward into the rest of the season.
And remember, you win a race and you're in the points, you are locked into the postseason as well. Here comes Sean Brightsman, the defending Cup Series champion there in the 46 machine. I think it's going to be for naught. He's used up his tires. Sean Brightsman, a little razzle-dazzle and problems again on Caden Anderson. Here's the replay on 37.
Hey, that corner looks familiar. It's like he's dumped it there before. Deja vu.
Except this time he didn't take out the cone. And we got replay of another accident here on track. Look at this. Watch this. The 71 almost going off track. And Kevin Smith does go around. Great work by Cooper to miss him. Hanging with Mr. Cooper on that exchange. And they all get back going again. By the way, awesome work on our production truck crew, led by executive producer Charles Wooten, picking them up, putting them down, finding the replays, the highlights, and we hope you've enjoyed what has been actually a pretty damn fun road course event to call here tonight. LSRTV and CRN Sports, and here is another replay in real time. Problems for the pole truck of Robert Gamble. He goes around in NASCAR Turn 1.
Gamble, within just 2 seconds of Brightsman, makes that mistake, and who knows when. He's got to hope that he doesn't lose any more positions. He's lost that spot now to Dan West Jr., falling back to 4th.
Got to keep it together there. Time is running out of the S's, and again, laps winding down as well. Robert Gamble in the top 5 right now, as Dan West Jr. just passed him. Here comes now Kevin Smith. We're looking at the 00. He comes across the line. Another solid run, not a top 5 like he had in the Cup race on Monday night, probably the best of his career. But I will say this, though, Sam, a top 15 with all the problems here tonight. Good run for him in the 00.
Yeah, just go for the points that you can grab at this point. There's not a lot left, but Kevin Smith, he's going to be trying to get by Cole Raz, and certainly will try to. No,
he again. Lost it. The announcer jinx. Kevin Smith, be mad at me. I'm sorry.
Just swap, and that's what we see.
Oh. Really talking about what a great job he had going for him. And there we got a truck 99 going off course as well. Problems with the 99. I got 99 problems, and it's in turn 1. Oh, shit. Wow. That was the horseshoe. Exactly right. And while that goes on, we are down to the final laps. There you see, getting around Judd Wakefield, the 81, Paul Newton, in his own world, right there, pulling away. The interval now almost, actually, it looks like he's reeling in. Brightsman might be reeling in on Newton, but I don't think he's got enough time. Newton's got to make a mistake.
Yeah, it's a lot of the lap traffic that Newton had to get by that was giving Brightsman that chance, but now Brightsman's got about 3 lap cars. He's got to figure out how to get by and hope that he gets them at the right moments, but this is going to be a very tough toll, and good luck for 2 more laps. As Newton's been doing a great job, and that car that he just lapped was actually I still can't believe it, but that is going to be the 14th car being put, 14th place being put a lap down. We've only got 13 drivers, soon to be 12, still on the lead lap. This is incredible by Newton.
And we have 3 laps to go, and we have a problem on the 10 truck of Cole Raz, understanding from our producers. He is coming down pit lane. Problems for Cole Raz. And the number 10, I think he might be done for the night. Problems in the number 10. He might not be able to go to the finish.
He's going to be trying to get some new tires. But we'll see if he gets back out there. He's got a lot of damage that he's got to repair. Could possibly have gotten what we call a meatball on iRacing, where he's got required time that he has to get repaired.
That's right.
The 10 is still on pit road.
And 2 to go. 2 remaining. There is Robert Gamble again in truck number 54. He is in the number 4 position. 25.419 seconds back on the interval to the leader of Paul Newton. Newton is the leader. Brightsman is in second. He is reeling him in. Almost cut the deficit in half of the last 2 laps. It was around 12 seconds. Now he's cut it down to under 6 seconds. But Brightsman is running out of time and running out of laps to boot. As we watch now, Dan West Jr. and Robert Gamble have the battle for the 3rd position on racetrack.
And Gamble, he's racing a ghost. He's got to figure out how to get by the 55 and hope that he does before he blinks back onto the surface. And Gamble is trying everything here. Our pole sitter, he made the mistake that put him back in 4th position and trying to rebound and secure that 3rd position right back.
And while that goes on, Paul Newton is the man out in front. We'll pick him up on the course again. There he is, working through NASCAR 3 and 4. Through NASCAR 3 and 4. He will make his way back down to the front straightaway here at the World Center of Racing. Through the NASCAR chicane. Perfectly into turns 13 and 14. Back through the Geico restart zone and coming back to the start-finish line to Barney the iRacing flagman and the CRN. 1 to go. 1 lap remains for Paul Newton. His first career Northwest Truck Series win into turn 1 for the final time.
Man, Newton has just put on a show. He started second, and ever since he got the lead, there was really no question if anyone else was going to catch him. It has been a fabulous drive for the 81 machine. Not a lot of mistakes could be made, but he has been doing a great job for himself. Just a couple of more corners that he's got to go for the rest of this race.
Moves his way through the International Horseshoe, down through the bootleg, now to the West Horseshoe of the racetrack. He's going to come back on the outer loop of the racetrack on the in and out as he works his way down through that part of the speedway, through the west end of the Horseshoe now. Down to the line, the white flag in the air. Everybody getting 1 lap to go. West and Gamble continue to flip-flop for 3rd spot. Gamble finally clears him. While that goes on, we pick up the leader again. Back on to the in and out. Back onto the big part of the speedway. He is into turn number 1 of the big track. Ready to bring it up to speed. Off of the first turn, down the 2nd corner, down the Daytona super stretch. Ready down the back straightaway to hit that bus stop one more time. The 81 out in front. It's his race to lose.
It's a great race that Newton's having, but I'm watching them probably one of the best battles of the whole entire night. Gamble spins it. So does Dan West Jr. spin it as they're trying to get back onto the course. Oh, my goodness.
You never want to leave the leader, but I really wish we could see that. Maybe we can on the replay. Watch them as they work their way into turn number 11 and 12, turns 3 and 4 here at Daytona. You rode on board with him. He was second in the Cup race, just merely starting his career with the Northwest Racing Series. Welcome to the club. Paul Newton will come off of the NASCAR chicane. Checkered flag. He wins the showdown for the trucks at the Daytona Road Course.
His 3rd start of the season, getting his first win. That's the ratio you love to see for this 81 truck.
Number 81. And somebody that played strategy as best as he could until the bitter end was Mr. Sean Brightsman. 2nd spot. Here's your replay of what happened between Dan West Jr. and Robert Gamble for 3rd. Wow! Looks like nobody was going to back off that position.
And what's crazy is even before that, they had to go 3 wide around Ritter to even try to make it still side by side into that corner. It was a lot of hectic racing, and what it set up is then have Devin West coming into the picture when they came to NASCAR chicane. All 3 drivers there battling for 3rd place, and it was going to be Dan West Jr. making it out.
Yes. Holy cow. And Dan West Jr. will take the podium for 3rd. Robert Gamble 4th. Stephen O'Hare 5th. Devin West amongst that 3-wide chaos you mentioned the last lap of the NASCAR chicane will end up 6th. And the rest of the field slowing them down. It is Paul Newton in that truck number 81, his first career Northwest iRacing Series win. Runner-up in the Cup Series to Lake Peterson on Monday night, and it played to his advantage. He played it like a fiddle. The man that's the Pied Piper here this evening, that truck number 81, made it work, and welcome to Victory Lane here tonight at Daytona. What a job by Paul Newton there again. And I think Sean Brightsman came down to congratulate him. You always remember your first kiss, your first breakup, your first marriage, your first divorce, your first baby, and your first win, virtual or reality. This is going to be a special night. Sam Dyer for Paul Newton in truck number 81.
Yeah, this win is massive for Paul because coming in tonight, he was 27th in points. He was needing a lot more points to be inside of the top 20, and with this win, he's now locked into the playoffs. His first win in the series. I mean, what a way to do it. And, you know, sometimes it's those road course ringers that come out of nowhere. But Paul Newton, he seems to be a driver here to stay and make a statement here tonight.
And he's getting ready to burn it down at the start-finish line in truck number 81. Let the celebration begin for Paul Newton. Will he do that? Or will he just be the customary stop at the start-finish line and, hey, buddy, you're part of the club now. You might get hit from behind. He just got out of the truck and done a virtual backflip, and there goes the virtual congratulatory send-off that we always do for the drivers that win. And that was Dennis Moore sending him that shot from nose to nose. And here comes Stephen O'Hare, Tyler King doing the same thing. And here comes the celebration. As here comes Dan West. Look out! Oh! O'Hare! Oh, he just missed him.
Ole!
He flipped Tyler King, his teammate, in the process. Oh, my goodness. Talk about spoiling a bag of oranges.
Oh, man.
What a celebration. Well, they're Pill's oranges, okay? You peel them, you eat them. What a celebration for Paul Newton. We're going to talk to them here in a minute. By the way, sawblade.com, unofficial results. It will look like this here in the Daytona race. Paul Newton is the winner. The interval back to Sean Brightsman. He held him off 7.387 seconds back. The closest man, Dan West Jr., way back to third, 34.852. He had a hell of a battle to the finish with Robert Gamble, the pole truck. A good top five. Hold your head up high, Robert. Stephen O'Hare also in the Pill's Oranges, 41, fifth. Devin West, Tyler King, a good finish. John Ottenbacher, Dennis Moore, Caden Anderson, your top 10 here.
Starting 11th is going to be Jeff Stabnow, last car on the lead lap. The rest of the field go in a lap down. Kevin Smith, Ritter, Paulson, as well as Vining, White, Harris. Cole Rad's had a wild day. He's happy that it finally came to a close. And then you got Wakefield and Blum going to be your top 20.
Hey, listen, for Jeff Stabnow to be the last truck on the lead lap and finish 11th, that's a good points day for him. The round out the field, it includes Aaron Cooper, Scott Hutchinson, Carl Burke, Corey Walters with problems all night, and problems again, no start for Ray Fournier in truck number 26. That's your full field rundown of the 25 drivers that competed here tonight on iRacing for the Northwest iRacing Truck Series here at the Daytona International Speedway Road Course. Celebration going on. Paul Newton, another first-time winner of the club. We will talk to him and everyone else when we return for post-race coverage from Daytona. This is live coverage of the Northwest iRacing Truck Series on LSRTV and 4K Ultra HD, and those that are listening on CRN Sports at wearecrn.com. Welcome back to LSRTV, CRN Sports coverage of the Northwest iRacing Truck Series. I'm Wesley Outland, Sam Dyer alongside. Greg Rentz will be back next Monday night. And an awesome job in the production crew so far by Charles Wooten on the lead for LSRTV on the broadcast. We're going to talk to another first-time winner of the Northwest Racing Series, Paul Newton, in just a moment. But first, to the podium we go. Defending Truck Series champion, Atlanta-Richmond winner in 55, Dan West Jr., a pretty wild race, a pretty battle you had with Robert Gamble, Stephen O'Hare, even your son Devin, fighting netcode issues, but you finish on the podium in third. Your take of the race.
Just happy to be on the podium, man. Just want to get in here and get out. I'm not a road course guy, so it was fun towards the end though, with racing with Robert. And Robert obviously was in a different class than me. But he messed up and brought him back to where I could race with him a little bit for third. But it was fun. It was still fun being able to battle with somebody. But like I say, it's just this road course stuff. I just pound my head against the pavement.
Yeah, I mean, Dan, it was spectacular to see you guys battling there in the final lap. Whoa, I mean, you as well as, seeing Robert side by side. What was the hardest part? Saw you went 3 wide for a second there, then contact. What was the hardest part of that whole entire final lap and a half?
The hard part was trying to get through that last chicane, because we went into it pretty much side by side and trying not to crowd him and keep it racy, right? And then not hit the curbing. And so, yeah, that was really hard to stay off each other. And I thought we did a pretty good job of that.
So when you have these blinking issues that we were talking about, you and your son both, what is it like trying to negotiate and fight still, position and not crash your truck also when it's going on?
Honestly, guys, I didn't even notice it. I don't see it on my end. Yeah, so unfortunately, I hope we didn't mess up anybody else's race with that. So I'll have to look into that and figure it out. We're both obviously on the same server. We race out of the same bedroom. So, yeah, I hope we didn't mess up anybody else's race.
What's the conversations like, father-son in the bedroom, and you guys are racing on the simulator together?
Well, I can't reach him when I'm racing, so if I could, I'd probably pull him out of his chair.
Take your sponsor real quick, Dan. Thanks, buddy. Third place.
Effective Web Solutions and Northwest Racing Series, LSRTV. You guys are the best. Thank you very much.
Hey, and good luck racing this weekend. I think it's back to real racing for you and the son, right?
For Devin it is, not me, but for Devin, yes.
I got you. Where are you going to be at?
Grace Harbor Raceway on the dirt.
There you go. Good to see the racing normalcy happening again across the country. Wenatchee Speedway. I know Greg will be on the call for that. I will be handling Caraway Speedway TV duties as well on Saturday, and making the trip to Richmond Raceway as well for the Cup race on Sunday afternoon. But yeah, thank you very much, Dan West Jr. Third place here tonight at Daytona. Runner-up in the event, Sean Brightsman. It's only fitting. Crowning champions, defending Truck Series champion Dan West Jr., defending Cup Series champion Sean Brightsman. Sean, you took a gamble. Man, happy with it, happy with second. Did you feel like you knew you couldn't catch him after that? Was you trying to conserve fuel? What was the talk of the race doing what you did for the final pit stop?
Yeah, I was just trying to do something different. I knew Beaver State Racing, Paul Newton, and those guys had a strategy coming into the race. Obviously, they pit before that competition caution, and I knew they had to pit. Even then, I couldn't really save enough to not pit, so I was hoping I could get enough of a gap and maybe just top off and get out there in front of them. But some costly errors by myself didn't let that happen, and unfortunately Paul retook the lead there on that last exchange for pit stop. So
yeah, I mean, Sean, it was a great race on your part, a great rebound, I would say. That first half of the race for the competition caution, you had a little bit of slip-ups. How do you really switch and get your mindset straight again after having so many mistakes?
I think it's just trying to clear those out, going, okay, I screwed up the first race, first part of the race, and we got a competition caution. I'm back in it. Let's just settle down, hit my marks. I'm not the fastest guy tonight. Let's just see what we can accomplish strategy-wise or consistency-wise to maybe finish in the top 3.
John, you being a former winner, and obviously you are the all-time winner, might I say. Check that on the Northwest, Cup Series, Truck Series, Northwest Racing Series in general. Obviously, looking at everything as well as what Mark Waltz did in his great career. What can you say to Paul Newton as the champion of the Cup, and of course Dan West as well, as being guys like yourselves and getting that first career win for the series?
Honestly, just a big congrats. I overheard Paul say that this is his first league win since like 2003. So, at least in a NASCAR style vehicle. So, really, I mean, there's a lot of talent in this field. So, to do what Paul did, not only Paul but Rob Gamble as well, to do what they did tonight and really put their foot down and show their strength in road course racing. It says a lot about them as a driver and as a person.
All right, man. Thank those sponsors. Good job here tonight.
I got to thank Bright's Boutique. Check us out at Etsy shop or Etsy.com/shop Bright's Boutique. Check out LSRTV, of course. You guys are the best broadcasters in the business. We appreciate everything. Central Welding Supply and Blenders Eyewear. Thank you, guys.
Always a pleasure, my friend. Sean Brightsman again. Fuel Gamble paying off for a podium second spot for the driver in the number 46 machine. Originally out of Puyallup, Washington, now residing from Tucson, Arizona. To Victory Lane we go for Beaver State Racing. Runner-up behind Lake Peterson on Monday night, right here, same place. Started on the outside of the front row, made it pay off, and goes to Victory Lane. Welcome to the club, Paul Newton. How does it feel to be a winner of the Northwest Racing Series, whether Cup, Truck, or ARCA?
It feels pretty good, pretty good. I really had this race on my radar as the first one I could really have a good shot at. So I practiced pretty good for it, and just all came together. So it feels great.
Yeah, I mean, Paul, you raced on Monday, and I know it's pretty similar, taking the Cup to the trucks. How was that, trying to transition over?
It wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. The driving style of the two cars is very, very different. Really can't use first gear at all in these trucks. It'll wheel hop so bad you won't last more than a few laps. So it took some practice to get me into a comfortable spot that I could click off consistent laps and keep it running pretty fast.
Okay, so Paul, the question, I'm going to ask it because you were stoked when you had the runner-up finish in the Cup race on Monday night here. What did you take from Monday night's race to use into the truck race here tonight to get this win?
It was definitely the pit strategy. We thought we had the strategy to beat on Monday, and when everything played out, we were not where we thought we were going to be. The two-stop strategy was the thing to do on Monday, and so the two-stop strategy was our new strategy this time. We knew we had to get into the pit before that competition caution came out, try not to use up our stuff, and then take it to the end.
So a segue question to that, and elaborate and thank your sponsors as well, Paul. Was there any difference of the race strategy because the caution came out for competition on lap 17 besides lap 12 on Monday night?
I think we just kind of made our bet on Monday, and we weren't going to make that strategy work no matter what. So we made sure to come in really early this time just to make sure we didn't get caught out by that caution. So that was the difference tonight.
Sponsor time, bud. Beaver State's got to be proud.
I got to thank Beaver State Racing. I'm really glad that they encouraged me to join on this year. I want to thank Tyler, Stephen, and Dennis there. I want to thank Sean Brightsman. He had some very kind words in his interview. I've actually known Sean kind of a long time, so It's great to hear from him. I want to thank Team Skittles and Audrey and everyone watching at home on LSRTV. I want to thank Peel's California Mandarins and PaulNewtonDesign.com.
Well, you know what they always say, Paul, once you get that first win, that's just the open door for many, many more to come. And I think you're a heck of a talent on the Northwest Racing Series. We're delighted to have you. Keep on keeping on. You enjoy this win, bud. We'll see you next Monday night.
All right. Thank you very much.
Paul Newton, another first-time winner. And he makes now the 5th and 6th races. The only repeat winner, of course, Dan West Jr. at Atlanta and Richmond to join the club for the Northwest Racing Series Truck Cup ARCA. By the way, don't forget, we are broadcasting the Northwest ARCA Racing Series on Friday night. I will not be available for the call because I have real broadcast obligations, but somebody will have it for you on LSR TV, and we'll probably re-air it later on in the weekend on CRN Sports, as we always cover all of our Northwest Racing Series competition. Well, that is a wrap-up from Daytona, virtually on iRacing. Samuel Dyer, always a pleasure, privilege working with you, my friend. Hope you had fun. It was a good road course race. Your final thoughts?
Yeah, no, it was a blast to watch. I mean, that first half of the race, you saw a lot of drivers making mistakes, and it was good to see rebounds that were made. I mean, Bridesman, what a rebound that he had. Dan West Jr. as well as Devin West, they both had their internet woes, but still were able to get top 10 finishes and great runs for themselves as well. And, of course, for Paul, I mean, an amazing run, and congratulations on the win.
A lot of strategy, a lot of excitement, everything coming down to the wire. And, of course, when it's all said and done, drivers like Robert Gamble had a shot. Sean Breitzman obviously had a shot. A great battle there with Dan West Jr., Gamble, O'Hare, and Sun West to the finish. And win again. Paul Newton, fuel strategy paying off, pit strategy paying off, runner-up on Monday, and puts it in victory lane as another first-time winner of the Northwest iRacing Truck Series. Hey, keep on board with everything going on. If you'd like to be a part of the Northwest Racing Series, go to Northwest Racing Series on Facebook. Join the club as a member. Also, LSR TV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, LiveSimRacingTV.com, and, of course, at CRN Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at WeAreCRN.com. LSR TV, next broadcast coverage again Friday for the Northwest ARCA Racing Series from Las Vegas, as I reiterated on. And the next broadcast coverage on CRN Sports is tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. JV softball coverage of Comets and the South Johnston Trojans. We'll have it on the call, as well as varsity at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. All of that going on the broadcast schedule. For Jeff Stabnow, 52 Media LLC. Again, what a great job that now Rocket Media has done. What a phenomenal job by Charles Wooten in the production truck. All the replays, all the cool things, the features. We hope you've enjoyed it. It was a fun road course event. I will not suffice to say, sometimes these races are not fun. Dan West Jr. said it as a driver. We say it as a broadcaster. But for this night, it was a pretty good show. And we look forward to race for the Cup and Trucks for Northwest competition next Monday and Wednesday right here from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. For Samuel Dyer, I'm Wesley Outland. Congratulations again to Paul Newton, winner at the Daytona Road Course. Be good to one another. Thanks for watching or listening. Until we talk and meet again, we appreciate your support of Sim Racing.